Behold, stationary camera. I can show my face. We'll be making carrot. It's my third carrot. I made 2 more carrots before this, but due to technical issues, the footage has to be discarded. So this is my third carrot. I ate the first 2 carrots. I'm probably gonna turn into a carrot very soon. So this is a very simple dish. We'll have, some of you are saying I should list the ingredients beforehand in the start of the video. So this dish will be using obviously a carrot, and we'll use green onion and a little bit of hot pepper, not too much, and salt. So same idea as the lotus root that we made yesterday, but with a slight difference on how to prepare it. So in case you don't know, this is a carrot, okay? This is a really hot pepper. We might be using a little bit. This is green onion. So we're going to cook carrot strings. So we'll be cutting carrot into strings. So how do we cut carrot into strings? Well, we first need to make carrot slices. And from the slices, we'll cut the carrot into strings. A string is a one-dimensional object. A carrot is a 3-dimensional object. You get a 1-dimensional object from a 3-dimensional object by reducing it first to a 2-dimensional object, like a slice. So once you cut it to a slice, you lay them out like this, like a deck of cards, okay? And then you go from the end with the same rocking motion that we've talked about yesterday. Okay, so give it a gentle rock until they turn into strings. I'm really good at this by now because I made 2 carrots before this one. So just be patient when you're cutting it. When you start, it's going to be not very good. Just keep at it. It'll turn out really well. We'll put these cut carrots into a bowl. So you obviously want to cut the string very thin, and the trick is to make sure you have a very thin slice, okay? If you have a thin slice, you don't need to cut too thin on the second pass to make the slice into strings. But if your slice is too thick, then you need to cut very thin on the second pass over the slices, and that's no fun. And you want to cut at an angle, so you have these long ellipse-shaped slices, because you're cutting a cylinder at an angle, right? If you cut it straight, you end up with a disc, a circle, and they don't give you very nice long strings that we're looking for in this dish. So see, once you have a few of these slices, right, you want to kind of just lay them out like this, right? And turn them into strings. It doesn't need to be too precise, okay, as long as you kind of get a feel of it. Be sure to use your knuckle to guide the knife and move back. Use your fingertip as the anchor. Push forward with your knuckle and gently roll back, and then grab again and gently roll back, okay? So see, These are some nice looking strings. I will cut more slices. If you're finding out your slices are too long, it's getting hard to control, you can tilt it back slowly. Sometimes you mess up. I have to throw that away, I think. I think when you first start off, cutting carrot is rather hard because carrot is a very hard root. I think it's much easier to cut potatoes. So again, when you cut slices, the same idea applies. Is you want to think about peeling a layer of slice away from the main body of the carrot. So if you think about peeling the layers back away from the main carrot, you can get fairly thin slices, and once you get the slices, to cut the slice into strings is actually fairly trivial. Okay. So we'll have a few more. This is a bit dangerous to cut this way because it might roll. So we'll just cut it with this flat surface on the bottom. So one thing about keeping carrot in the fridge, you want to cover the carrot a little bit with some plastic bag that the carrot come in, because if you don't do that, the carrot tends to dry out and shrivel into a tiny carrot that's really soggy, and that's no good if you try to make a kind of a clean stir-fry dish that we want. You definitely want the dish to be very fresh. Okay, so what we'll do with these strings is we'll give them a nice rub of salt. So you actually don't add salt when they are in the pot, the pan. You actually add salt now, and just give it a sprinkle of water, just so that you can move the salt around. And so the idea is carrot doesn't have a lot of starch in it, but it has a lot of water. So you want to use the salt to remove the excess fluid, so that in the pan they don't turn it into a soup, right? And the whole point of cutting them into strings is that they will cook extremely quickly. So there's actually no time for you to cut the green onion after the carrot is already in the pan. So you want to cut the green onion roughly at the same time and put them together, and they will go into the pan together. There's no need to do this, but it's nice to have a green onion roughly cut into strings as well to match the shape of our carrot. So try to give them this nice long cut, right, rather than the short cut. Or try your best. I'm not doing a good job. It's okay. So let me know how you like the stationary camera. I think it'll shake much less, and I can be sure that you're seeing my movement on the hand. Okay? So what we do now is we'll take a bit of paper towel and just get rid of the excess fluid that's in the carrot. Doesn't need to be too precise. So let's see. Can you see this is what the carrots look like before they're in the pan. Okay. And now, dun, 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 camera rotation. Please work. Ugh. Dang it. Alright, I think that worked. Okay. So this is my pan. Good. So put the heat on high and put in your canola oil. Step 2. The amount of oil doesn't need to be too much. Okay? You want just enough oil to cover all the carrot. So think of salad dressing, right? You don't want to drown it in oil. And I have some chicken here. I'm gonna steal some chicken. Oh my god. I'll show you how to make the chicken next time, don't worry. The way you can tell oil is hot in the pan, you see how they're sluggish? That means they're not hot. Once they move more freely, like hot water would move, then it's hot. We'll add a little bit of hot pepper. So hot pepper can actually be put in first, because if it's raw hot pepper, it'll be very hot, very spicy. So you want to cook it to mellow the flavor out a little bit. It also lets you know when the pan is hot, because it'll start to sizzle a bit. And while we're at that, we want to put the green onion into the carrot, right? So they're together. Kind of make them up. You see all the fluid coming out? You probably want to pat them, maybe, if you're OCD. That's just to show you how much fluid there actually is in the carrot. So if you don't do the first step of using salt to extract these extra fluid, it won't be a clean dish. Okay, so now the oil is hot. So this dish, you want a fresh taste. So everything is very fresh. By fresh, I mean not overcooked. Okay, so if you overcook this, that wouldn't be the selling point of this dish. A good stir-fried carrot should still taste kind of 80% cooked but 20% raw. So a raw carrot is very hard. And what you're looking for when you're cooking it, you're looking for, first of all, the color will turn slightly more yellowish orange rather than reddish orange. But what you're really looking for is the consistency of these strings. You want the string to turn more softer like noodles, but not so soft. And you want to cook them, but you want to kind of retain a little bit of their crunchy flavor. That's it. It looks good. Don't overcook. That's a very common beginner mistake to make. Okay, we will change the camera angle back. Ooh. Look at that. And put them inside. So when you first start cooking, it's really hard to control the tempo, because when you put it in the pan, sometimes you may forgot to put something and you go back to add stuff, and before you know it, you overcooked a dish. So always good to make sure you have everything ready before you cook it. So that's it. This is stir-fried carrot. It's entirely vegetarian. I think it's a good dish. I probably won't eat it now because I already had
3 of them already, or 2. Yes, that's what it looked like. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks.